So what we're doing is, for those who are not watching us live, this is a live stream. So we're going to wait for about 3 minutes or so for more people to gather into the stream. And we are currently waiting for the media call for Canelo's trainer, Eddy Reynoso, and Golovkin's trainer, Abel Sanchez, to start their media call. So it's supposed to start at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. These media calls usually don't start until about 10 minutes or so after the scheduled time. So right now it's 2:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And basically, we want to know, okay, who's going to be on the call? First, let me share the video. So right now, let me share the video around. You're going to have Abel Sanchez and Eddy Reynoso, the trainers. So what I would like you guys to do is let me know what questions do you want me to ask the trainers if I get a question. But most likely I will get a question in. And truth be told, I want to know what's going on with the undercard, you know? That's a logical question, right? What is going on with the undercard? So I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. All the links to my social media are right down below in the description box. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I'm gonna be out there. My trip for Vegas for Canelo Golovkin is booked. It is official. So I'm going out there. I am not going to Mayweather versus McGregor. I don't even know if I'm going to get denied or not. They haven't sent out confirmation. Likely I will, because I didn't send any letters in for myself. So yeah, we're going to Canelo versus Golovkin, and starting next week, you know, immediately after Mayweather versus McGregor is over, we're going to go hardcore in promoting this shit, because truth be told, it's been too quiet. This is the biggest fight of the year. You know, I mean, if you look at Mayweather McGregor being the biggest fight of the year financially, this is the biggest fight of the year, you know? So once again, what we're doing is we're waiting for Abel Sanchez and Eddy Reynoso, the trainers of Golovkin and of Canelo, to start the media call. Also, the promoter is going to be on the call, Tom Loeffer. So if you look at this undercard, right, we got Golovkin versus Canelo versus Golovkin, but the Mayweather McGregor undercard is even better than this. Don't get me wrong. I like Diego De La Hoya, Antonio Orozco. He was supposed to be the mandatory at 140 pounds for the WBC, and I saw Ryan Martin fight a couple of times, but this isn't really, you know, like anything, you know? This isn't really anything. So please subscribe, share. You know, as you can see, we're pumping out like content. Like I put out like 11 videos today or something.
Media conference call.
Oh, here we are.
My name is Jenny, and I'll be your operator for today's call. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode.
I hope you guys can hear it clearly.
Later, we will conduct a question-and-answer session. During the question-and-answer session, if you have a question, please press star then 1 on your touch-tone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I will now turn the call over to Roberto Diaz. Mr. Diaz, you may begin.
Thank you very much. Thank you to all the media that dialed in today for the Canelo versus Golovkin Trainers International Media Conference call with Canelo's trainer, Eddy Reynoso, and Gennady Golovkin, Triple G's trainer, Abel Sanchez. The middleweight battle for supremacy between Lineal and ring middleweight champion, world champion Canelo Álvarez, and WBC, IBO, IBF, and WBA middleweight world champion Gennady Triple G Golovkin. It's Saturday, September 16th at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, and will be televised by the best network, the Network of Champions, HBO Pay-Per-View. Today we will hear from both trainers on how their fighters are preparing for the biggest fight of their careers, with an opportunity to ask them questions. I want to take a moment to thank our sponsors, Tecate, Born Bold, Hennessy, Never Stop, Never Settle, O'Reilly Auto Parts, and Fred Loya Insurance. Interjet, Phantom Events, Tesena Bank, and Capital Holdings. I also want to remind everyone to mark their calendars for the episode number 1 of 24/7, Canelo Golovkin, which premieres Saturday, August 26th on HBO, immediately following the Koto Kamagai Live World Championship Boxing Doubleheader from the StubHub Center. Lastly, don't forget that while tickets for the T-Mobile are sold out, there's still tickets for closed circuit at the Bellagio Resort and Casino, MGM Grand Hotel, Casino, Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino, the Mirage Hotel and Casino, Monte Carlo Resort and Casino, New York Hotel and Casino, Luxor Hotel and Casino, and the Circus Las Vegas. They're priced at $75, not including any applicable fees. All seats are general admission and are currently on sale. Tickets may be purchased at any MGM International box office by phone with a major credit card at 1-800-745-3000 or online at www.ticketmaster.com. I'd like to hand it over to our co-promoter, Tom Loeffler, with Triple G Promotions to make some brief comments and introduce Gennady Golovkin's trainer, Mr. Abel Sanchez. Tom?
Thanks, Robert. We couldn't be more excited about this event coming up. It's, I mean, you can't describe it other than it's the biggest event in boxing. We've got a tremendous response since both of these warriors agreed to fight each other September 16th. It's been everything's gone smooth working together with Golden Boy. I've been up to the camp a number of times. We've never gotten so many media requests to come up to the Summit gym up in Big Bear, where Abel Sanchez does all the training, and it's just the flood of requests is amazing. You always have to balance it between accommodating the media requests and Gennady actually preparing for the fight. So with that being said, I want to introduce the two-time trainer of the year, Abel Sanchez.
Abel, you want to just make a few opening comments?
Pardon me, Abel has dropped. I will dial out.
So let me introduce to you guys one of the best trainers while we get Abel back on the line. Let's hear just opening comments from one of the best trainers in the business today, Eddy Reynoso, who's preparing Canelo for his showdown with Gennady Golovkin. Eddy, unas palabras, por favor.
Hola, buenos días. Aquí estamos para servir. Saludos a todos.
I just want to say hello to everybody. Good morning, and we're here to serve you. Let us know when we get Abel back on.
Maybe if you want, Robert, we can already start, if you want, with a couple of questions for, it says...
Yeah, there'll be questions for both, but I mean, I can't agree more. I mean, look, like Tom said, it's the fight that all the fans, all the media, everybody's been asking for. It's here, just a few weeks away, and this is a fight you definitely don't want to miss. This could go down as one of the best middleweight fights in history.
Waiting for Abel Sanchez to get on the call.
We have Abel?
He says he's dialing back in. He says he can hear us, but apparently there's some problem with him. So I just told him to dial back in, so he should be dialing in right now.
We'll get give him a couple to see, and then we'll get an introduction, and if not, then we can open it up to the media.
Okay.
So, since they're having their issues, we're going to talk about the fight a little bit. Did y'all notice this shit is like real quiet? You know, like nobody's, I mean, I understand, you know, that Mayweather McGregor's going.
Yes.
Can you look there?
I see him now.
I understand that, you know, Mayweather McGregor is going on, and it is a more high-profile fight as far as the trash talk and financially, and of course, it's Mayweather.
Or we can just go straight into. Okay, so you heard everything. Okay, just go straight into Abel.
Okay, so we're waiting for them to once again figure out their technical.
And Abel Sanchez is on.
Abel, do you want to say a few words about how the training is going up there in Big Bear, and then we can just open it up for questions for you and Eddie.
Sure, Tom. Thank you, Robert, for the intro. Buenos días, Eddie. Good morning to everybody online, all the media. Training is going great. We're really looking forward to September 16th. I think the two best fighters in boxing are going to meet each other that night. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Abel. Thank you. Operator, we're ready to open it up.
Thank you. We will now begin the question and answer session. If you have a question, please press star then 1 on your touch tone phone. If you're using a speakerphone, pick the handset first before pressing the numbers. Once again, if you have a question, please press star then 1 on your touch tone phone. And our first question is from Dan Rafael from ESPN.
Hello, everybody. I had a couple questions. Abel, glad you were able to make it to the call. Look a little dicey there for a second, but here's my question for you. And I'll get Eddie's take on this in a minute. Obviously, the competition is between Gennady Golovkin and Canelo Alvarez, but I know that trainers are competitive also, and certainly want to win for their own careers, obviously for their fighters' careers. So I wanted to know from your perspective, like, when you say it's the two best fighters in boxing and in a big fight that we have on September 16th, how do you look at it in terms of the competition between yourself and your opposing trainer, Eddy Reynoso?
I think at this point, if you consider those two fighters the best fighters in boxing, I think he's the two best trainers in boxing also. Eddie and Chip have done a fantastic job with Canelo, and I think that we've done a great job with Gennady. The winner on the 16th is not necessarily the best fighter in boxing, but the best fighter that night. Same with the trainers. I think that that competition between us needs to be there so that we can prepare our guys to be the best they can be that night.
Can you also tell me, we've seen Gennady knock out so many opponents. Obviously, he didn't get the knockout in the fight with Danny in March, but he had a 23 knockout streak before that. But Canelo has had some spectacular knockouts himself in his recent fights, not necessarily the Chavez fight, but in some fights prior to that. So both guys are looked at as punchers in this fight. They're both obviously very good boxers. When you look at the matchup, do you think this is more of a fight where Gennady is going to be the guy to be the biggest puncher, or is he the one that's going to have to get the win to outbox Canelo Alvarez? How do you view that aspect of this matchup?
I see both guys being aggressive, and I see Gennady being more physical. I see Gennady trying to dictate the pace. Canelo has proven that he's a warrior. We're looking for a tough fight. I think that both guys are going to hurt each other, and they may go down. But I think it'll be treated to a throwback fight like in the mid-'80s when the 4 Kings, 5 Kings were around.
You say you might see Gennady get knocked down. In his entire professional career and his amateur career, there was no evidence of him being seriously hurt in a fight or even close to going down. Is that because you have that much respect for Canelo's punching power, or are you just trying to hype this up a little bit?
No, I have respect not only for his punching power, but I have respect for Eddie and Chip for doing the things that are necessary to counteract some of the things that we're going to be doing. I think it's a fight where it's going to be a chess match at the beginning, and then once you get past that point where they're trying to see what each other's doing, they're going to go at each other. Now it's going to be up to us in the corner to make sure that we dictate what we want done and make sure that we come up with a different plan if the first one's not working.
Thank you very much for that, Abel. I would like to ask Eddie. Robert, you're translating, I take it, for Eddie?
Yes, sir.
Could you ask him, similar to what I asked Abel as it related to the competition that exists between the trainers? Abel Sanchez was the 2015 Trainer of the Year, has gotten a lot of credit for the work he's done, not only with Gennady, but for some other fighters like Gassiev and that sort of thing. Eddie has never been the Trainer of the Year. I think a lot of people think the winner of this fight might be the Fighter of the Year. How big of a deal is it for Eddie to compete against another outstanding trainer like Abel Sanchez and maybe, etch himself as a possible Trainer of the Year if his man gets the big victory?
Eddie, la pregunta para ti es, obviamente la pelea del 16 es entre Canelo y Golovkin, pero también pues hay una competencia, se puede decir, entre las esquinas, entre los entrenadores. Abel Sanchez ha sido reconocido como uno de los mejores entrenadores. En el 2015 le dieron premio del entrenador del año. A ti, pues no te han dado esos premios, esos reconocimientos. ¿Crees que el vencedor de esta pelea podría ser hasta el peleador del año? ¿Es un motivante, es un extra para ti ganar esta pelea también para que ya empiecen a dar reconocimiento a Eddy Reynoso como uno de los mejores entrenadores del mundo?
Buenas tardes. Pues antes que nada, lo más importante para nosotros es que gane nuestro peleador. Nosotros sabemos que en el boxeo hay que ir caminando poco a poco. Creo que somos jóvenes, estamos en un muy buen nivel con nuestro boxeador. Hay que trabajar. Lo más importante como objetivo es ganar esta pelea y pues, los reconocimientos ya vendrán después. De lo que nos interesa es ganar a como dé lugar esta pelea y ya que pasa lo que tiene que pasar.
Well, good afternoon to everybody. Thank you. Look, at the end of the day, the most important thing for us is that our fighter wins. And we're doing everything necessary. We're preparing so that happens come fight night. Look, at the end of the day, with the results come all the recognitions and everything else will come with it. But the most important thing for us is to win September 16th.
All right, very good. Thank you both. Appreciate your time.
And our next question comes from Diego Martinez from Reforma.
Hola, ¿cómo están? Buenas tardes a ambos.
What questions do you guys want me to ask?
La pregunta para los dos. ¿Qué opinión tienen, obviamente, en los últimos años se ha hablado de...
I'm going to ask about the sparring all those years back and the undercard.
Hago la traducción. The question from Diego to both trainers, both Abel and Eddy, is, look, in the past, Freddie Roach, Mayweather Sr., they've all gotten the attention of the boxing world as some of the best trainers, but today, all eyes.
Here's what the undercard looks like so far.
Eddy Reynoso and Abel Sanchez. How important is it? How motivating is it that you guys are the top trainers right now and all eyes are on you? Abel?
First of all, I'm extremely proud that two Mexicans are guiding the two best fighters in the sport, and that we're going to be meeting each other for supremacy on the 16th. I'd be extremely happy that the fans recognize the fact that it's not only Canelo and Mexican, but Gennady fighting that Mexican style, but that Eddy and I are both very proud Mexicans.
La respuesta de Abel es que está muy orgulloso y muy contento que, pues obviamente es una pelea que tiene toda la atención del mundo.
Good question, Tony. I'm going to ask about that.
Tanto él como Eddy están detrás de esta pelea, de que con Golovkin también tienen un peleador que pelea al estilo mexicano y pues obviamente con Canelo tienen a un mexicano. Entonces es muy importante para él. Eddy, la misma pregunta para ti, papá.
Pues contento más que nada por el trabajo que se ha logrado y pues ir avanzando. Somos jóvenes, vamos empujando, nos gusta lo que hacemos, entonces hay que seguir por el mismo camino para el día de mañana pasado pues llegar a donde se pretende y estar dentro de los...
That's a good question too, Bobby.
And we're very, very happy, you know, to what we've achieved and happy doing what we love. And we got to keep advancing, keep doing what we do best, and that's winning and advancing so that one day, hopefully not too in a distant future, we can be considered as one of the best in the game.
Gracias.
Gracias, Diego.
Once again, if you have a question, please press star then 1 on your touch-tone phone. And our next question comes from Rigo Cervantes from ESPN Digital.
I'm already in the queue for a question.
Buenos días, jóvenes. Tengo una pregunta para Eddy Reynoso. Eddy, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo le va? La pregunta que yo le haría es que cuando vino Golovkin a introducirse, a presentarse en el mercado de Estados Unidos, se anunció como un boxeador con estilo mexicano. Yo creo que tiene que ver con la influencia de Abel Sanchez. ¿Usted lo ve, Eddy, como un boxeador que tenga estilo mexicano de verdad?
So the question is for Eddy, when Triple G was introduced to American public, he was introduced with the label of Mexican style. And that could be with influence, obviously, of his trainer being Mexican, Abel Sanchez. But the question, Eddie, to Eddy Reynoso is, do you see him as a Mexican style fighter? Eddie, adelante.
Pues obviamente el estar entrenando con un mexicano, lo que le va a enseñar es el boxeo mexicano. Creo que he aprendido algunas cosas del señor Abel, y de todos modos sus raíces son rusas, y el boxeo que trae es pues más ruso que mexicano. Y ha adaptado algunas cosas que le han enseñado, pero de eso que diga que es totalmente un estilo mexicano, creo que no estoy yo de acuerdo. Y tiene algunas cositas que las ha aprendido del señor Sánchez, pero no creo que sea un mero estilo mexicano.
Yeah, you know, it's obvious he has some things of the Mexican style because his trainer, there's influence there. He's taught him some Mexican style of fight. But let's not forget that at the end of the day, he's Russian, Kazakhstan. That's where his roots are. And although he may have a little bit of the Mexican style that he's been taught, at the end of the day, he can't have the full Mexican style.
¿Me permite otra pregunta para el señor Abel Sánchez? Abel,
Adelante.
Sí, la pregunta que yo le hiciera a usted es, después de esta pelea el 16 de septiembre, ¿el ganador usted cree que debe ser considerado como el mejor libra por libra del mundo?
The question is, to Mr. Abel Sanchez, is do you think that after September 16th, after the fight, the winner will be considered pound for pound #1 in boxing?
I don't think that's something for me to say. I think that the journalists and the media at large and the fans will have their opinion. But I think that right on the 16th, we have the two best boxers in the sport going at each other. So they can determine that. But going back to what you asked, Eddie, I think the Mexican style, the part of the Mexican style that Golovkin has adapted, that the fans really like, is the fact that his aggressiveness. It reminds us of some of the fighters of the past, Mexican greats of the past, like Chavez and some of Alvarez fights, and some of the old timers that they used to give us those great entertaining fights.
La respuesta del señor Sánchez es que, mire, eso no es para que yo diga si sí o no, pero eso es se lo dejo a la prensa, al público, a todos los fans, que ellos determinen después de la pelea quién es el número uno y si es así. Y sobre la pregunta que le hizo a Eddie sobre el estilo mexicano, mira, los fans han dicho que él es el estilo mexicano porque les recuerda ese estilo agresivo, como el de Julio César Chávez o Rubén Olivares, como los grandes de antaño.
And our next question comes from Rick Mace, The Washington Post.
I have just a couple quick questions for Abel.
I'm gonna wait. I'm trying to get a question in.
Gennady, because the fight's so big, because so much went into making this fight, I just wonder if there's anything different about his demeanor. If you can tell he's anticipating or looking forward to this more than previous fights.
Well, absolutely, he's looking very forward to this. I think that he feels that Canelo is the best challenge for him right now. He thinks he's the best boxer out there possible for him. The frustration of having the fights in the past and just talk, and some of the fights that we had to take, I think is subsided. I think that his anticipation level for this one is like it used to be, let's say, 7 fights ago.
My second question, how would you compare this fight with what we're going to see next week in Vegas with Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor as a fight, man?
Well, you know what? I think that we should, in this conference, should concentrate on the two best boxers that are going to fight the 16th.
What about drug testing?
Next week is really irrelevant to me. I'd rather just wait for the 16th and put the two best fighters in the ring.
Bravo.
Thank you.
And our next question comes from Keith Isaac, BoxingScene.com.
What about if I ask if both of these fighters
I just wondered if you could tell us how important Gennady's jab is in this fight, because obviously
are involved in VADA?
He used it very well against Lemieux, and then wasn't quite as accurate with his jab against.
Also, will they both be taking place in the IBF day of weigh-in?
I think all aspects are very important.
How's that question?
We had Lemieux view in the ring, and Gennady handled it with the jab, but I don't think that's the same. Canelo's not Lemieux. Canelo's a better fighter. Canelo's going to give us some difficulties, but all aspects of it, not only the jab, but the straight right hand is going to be very important. Defense is going to be very important. It's not the easy fight that people are looking at. It's a difficult fight for us, and we're looking forward to the challenge.
Well, what did Jacobs do necessarily to kind of take his jab away a little bit?
First of all, he ran most of the last part of the fight, but I think his size was a little hard to deal with at the beginning, and then by the time he started running, it was difficult to catch up with him. But Jacobs is a very good fighter also.
We're going to ask about Vada.
Problems that he presents. He's not the fighter. He doesn't have the boxing ability that Canelo does. Maybe he's got the size and the power that more than Canelo. Canelo's a better boxer.
How much improvement have you seen in Canelo over the last few years, Abel?
Tremendous improvement. I think that, like I said, Eddie and Chip have done a fantastic job. I think that when we had him here at 19, 20 years old, he looked like a star, like he could have been a star. He looked like he was progressing, but the fight that they put him in, the challenges that they've given him have developed him into the star that he is today. I see tremendous improvement.
Also have a question for Eddie. Could you ask him how important it is to kind of neutralize Golovkin's jab if he's going to win this fight?
Eddie, la pregunta es para ti. ¿Qué tan importante es controlar y neutralizar ese jab de Golovkin para ganar la pelea? Para salir con la mano en alto.
No, pues es controlar todo el peleador fuerte que va hacia adelante. No le importa que le metan 3 o 4 golpes con tal de dar uno. Es un aporreador 100%, mucha condición, muy fuerte, siempre está ahí en la pelea, entonces hay que controlar muchas cosas de Golovkin, para eso estamos haciendo un buen campamento, entonces son muchas las cosas que tenemos que cuidarnos de Golovkin.
Well, it's not just the jab that has to be neutralized, it's a lot of aspects, because he doesn't just have the jab, he's a very aggressive fighter, he's a very strong fighter that comes forward, that will take a couple punches to land one. So it's not just the jab. That's why we're doing a tremendous camp and making all the adjustments and training and strategy to have a great fight come September 16th.
Could you also ask Eddie what areas he feels Canelo has improved on in the last couple of years and makes him ready to win this fight?
También la pregunta, Eddie, ¿qué áreas de Canelo han mejorado y por qué es la razón que piensas que va a ganar esta pelea el sábado, 16 de septiembre?
Pues hemos trabajado en todos. Estamos trabajando en la defensa, en las combinaciones, en los ataques, estamos trabajando en la condición física, estamos haciendo un campamento como siempre, trabajando todos los aspectos, y creo que Saúl es un peleador más completo, un peleador más inteligente arriba del ring, entonces nosotros también tenemos la confianza en que el día 16 de septiembre todo nos va a hacer valer para ganar la pelea.
We're working like we always do. We concentrate on all the aspects: conditioning, counter punching, attacking, movement. I truly believe that Canelo is a more complete fighter, a more intelligent fighter, and putting it all together on the 16th, that'll let us come out with our hand raised.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
If you have a question, please press star then 1 on your touch tone phone. And our next question is from Albert Perez from Hoy Deportes.
Buenas tardes, esa es para Eddie. Eddie, ¿consideras que esa es la pelea por el poderío de puño?
See, I pushed star 1 already. If you push star 1 again, it takes you out of the queue.
¿Consideras que es la pelea más peligrosa de su carrera? Y segunda, ¿te molesta que Golovkin tenga tanto apoyo de mexicanos que quieran ver a Canelo perder?
The question is, because of his power, because he's in middleweight, because of his style, is this a fight that is very difficult? I mean, that will make Canelo, if he wins, the top. And the second question, does it bother you that Golovkin has a lot of support from the Mexican fans? And will this be the most difficult fight of Canelo's career?
Sí, sin duda yo creo que es la pelea más peligrosa que ha tenido Saúl en su carrera. Golovkin, podemos decir que es un peleador peligroso, un peleador fuerte, un peleador que ya está sentado en esas 160 libras. Sin duda alguna la pelea más peligrosa que ha tenido Saúl. Y respecto a lo de los mexicanos, pues no, la verdad siempre en un país tan grande, de cada 10 mexicanos, 9 apoyan a Saúl, entonces nos vamos con los 9 que nos apoyan y los demás pues hacemos como mexicanos.
Yes, absolutely. Without a doubt, this is going to be the strongest, the toughest fight of his career at this point. And there's no doubt that's what we're preparing for. And as far as, Golovkin having some Mexican fan support, in a country as big as America, for every one that supports Golovkin, there's 9 that support Canelo. So we'll stick with the 9 that support us, and hey, the other one doesn't matter. It's okay. Muchas gracias.
And our next question is from Gail Falkenthal from Communities Digital.
Thank you very much. Good morning, gentlemen. You both clearly respect each other very much. It's admirable. I'd like both of you to name something that you like about your opposing trainer, something that you think he does well.
Abel?
I think what I respect most about the Reynosos as a team, Eddy being the head trainer, is the dedication to the sport. I think it's important to have these kind of trainers in the sport because it just makes our sport greater and it allows it to grow the way it should. They're perpetuating the knowledge that was taught to them, and it makes us better as a sport.
Eddy, la pregunta es admirable el respeto común que se tienen ustedes como entrenadores, obviamente los que van a combatir, pero la pregunta es, quisiera ya saber qué es lo que admiras en este caso de Abel Sanchez, que lo llevas en contra. Abel Sánchez contestó que es admirable la dedicación que han tenido ustedes, tú y Don Chepo, al deporte, y de pasar esa enseñanzas a sus peleadores y mantener el deporte en alto. La pregunta a ti es, ¿qué es lo que admiras de Abel Sánchez como entrenador?
No, pues es una persona dedicada a su trabajo, una persona responsable que le gusta lo que hace, y una persona así pues es de admirar y siempre va a tener el éxito. Entonces se le admira al señor, y más que nada le agradezco que un día me regaló unas manos. ¿Unas qué? ¿Unas qué? Me regaló unas manotas.
Yeah, these questions, please, calls be crazy.
So Eddy's response is, no, it's very, I admire of Abel's dedication and hard work and motivation to be in there, training, and when you do something that you love and passionate about, that's where the success comes from. And I also remember, and I'm grateful that a while back he let me have some mitts, so I thank him for that.
Very good. And do both of you agree that Chepo is probably the better singer than either of you?
Yes, I agree.
Oh my God. So, la pregunta es que si los dos pueden estar de acuerdo que Don Chepo es mejor cantante que cualquiera de ustedes dos. Abel dijo que sí, que él está de acuerdo. Eddy.
No, pues claro, para componer y para cantar no tiene idea.
Yes, obviously, absolutely. To compose music and to sing, there's nobody comes second to him.
Thank you, muchas gracias, and good luck to both of you.
Thank you.
And our next question comes from Carlos Macias from Madrid Network.
They're doing me dirty.
¿Qué tal,
With the
caballeros?
questions.
Buenas tardes, buenos días. Una pregunta para cada uno. Primero, para Eddy Reynoso, le saluda Carlos Macias de Ciudad de Madrid. El estilo de Golovkin se acomoda al del Canelo, pero bueno, Saúl no ha enfrentado a un boxeador con tanto punch, ¿no? ¿Es lo que más les preocupa de Golovkin?
So the question is, Golovkin's style can accommodate into Canelo's style, but he's never faced somebody as strong of a puncher. Is that what worries you most about Golovkin, his power?
Sí, Golovkin tiene un estilo que se le acomoda a cualquier peleador para dar buenas peleas. creo que va al frente siempre y está buscando la pelea, se acompada a cualquier estilo. Entonces yo creo que ese día se van a acabar los estilos. Y en cuanto a la pegada de Golovkin, pues claro, es lo que más tenemos que cuidar. Un peleador, como te digo, fuerte, agresivo, que tiene una gran condición física, entonces hay que tener mucho cuidado en todo eso. Pero la pegada sí es algo que hay que tenerle.
We're going to talk about the fight after the call is over.
Golovkin has a style that is pleasing. It makes fights pleasing and then can easily be adapted to as well. And I think that we will see September 16th how it'll adapt to Canelo style and provide a great fight. And as far as the power, yes, absolutely, that is something we have to be wary of. We respect his power. We know what his power is, and we have to be wary of that.
Si me permiten una pregunta más para Eddy Reynoso antes de pasar con Abel Sánchez, le preguntaría, ¿qué han hecho diferente? Comentaba que es la pelea más importante, más
a lot of Hispanic questions today.
¿Qué han hecho diferente en esta preparación para enfrentar el combate?
The question against Eddie is, it's been mentioned that it's the most dangerous fight to date for Canelo Álvarez. And what have you done different in camp? What has been done different to face him?
No, pues lo mismo, siempre trabajar en todos los aspectos, llegar bien preparados físicamente, mentalmente, físicamente. Los sparring son los que cambian, hay que estarlos rotando. Entonces, ahorita empezando modo las rotaciones ahí en México. Entonces, lo mismo, con disciplina, con determinación, empezar un compromiso. Sabemos la clase de peleador que tenemos, sacarle todo el jugo, sacarle todas las cualidades que tiene para que ese día nos levanten la mano.
No, the same thing we always do. Look, we always work on conditioning, we always work on strength, and we always work on the strategy. That's what's gotten us to where we are today. We're going to continue doing that, working hard. We know what we have in front. And the only thing that changes is the sparring partners, depending on what style, and we're rotating them often, just like it's very popular in Mexico right now, the rotations. And that's what we're doing, just getting ready, preparing properly so that our hand will be raised come September 16th.
Ahora la pregunta para el señor Abel Sánchez, de parte de Carlos Macías, del show del Mandril. ¿Es cierto que en la pelea contra Daniel Jacobs planearon una estrategia de falsa vulnerabilidad? O sea, no mostrarte tan avasallador para que...
I can't press the star button anymore because it'll take me out of the question queue.
You can translate it, brother?
Yeah, the question is it true that for the Daniel Jacobs, you showed the strategy was to show a false, not a false vulnerability, so that Golden Boy Promotions can then say, look, he's vulnerable, let's go ahead and make the fight?
Absolutely not. You never take a chance on losing a fight, and by doing something ridiculous like that, we take a chance of the judges seeing it the other way. Our fight against Canelo was made because Canelo felt that he was ready, Oscar felt that he was ready, and the Reynosos felt that he was ready. But there was no intent on our part, against part of the team's part, to look bad. We did what we needed to do against Jacobs to win. Jacobs is a difficult opponent, but by no means did we slack off. We wanted this fight, but we wanted this fight at our best.
No, de ninguna manera vamos a arriesgarnos a perder o que los jueces piensen y vean que no fue a favor la pelea. Jacobs fue un peleador difícil, complicado un poquito, pero no de ninguna manera fue una estrategia ni de Golovkin, ni de mi parte, ni del equipo. La pelea se hizo ahora con Canelo porque Canelo la quiso, Oscar la quiso, sentían, los Reynosos la querían y sentían que en este momento ya era momento de hacer la pelea.
Gracias, buenas tardes.
Gracias.
And our next question is from Rigo Cervantes, ESPN Digital.
They're doing me dirty.
Hola de nuevo a los dos y les voy a hacer otra pregunta al respecto de que no todos los títulos estarán en juego. ¿Es eso cierto? Es decir, no todos los títulos de Triple G, que tiene 4 coronas, estarán en disputa el día del 16 de septiembre.
The question is to both camps, not all the titles are on the line Triple G has the 4 title. Are they all on the line or are they not? Abel?
For us, for Golovkin, he's very proud of the 4 belts that he holds right now. He will be risking them on that night. What Canelo and Golden Boy choose to fight for, that's up to them. But I respect whatever it is that they choose to do. That's their option and their choice.
Por Golovkin, él está muy orgulloso de los 4 títulos que mantiene y los 4 van a estar en juego el día de la pelea. Sobre Canelo y Golden Boy y su equipo, de los cuales pelearán o algo, esa es decisión de ellos y yo respeto la decisión de ellos. Eddy.
Sí, yo creo que esto ya está muy trillado, ya Golden Boy mandó el comunicado pertinente, entonces nosotros lo que nos queda es estar listos para la pelea, trabajar fuerte y ganar a como dé lugar.
Look, this has already been something that's already been cleared and sent out. Golden Boy sent out the alert to us. Now the only thing that's left is train, prepare, get ready, and win the fight. Next question.
And our next question is from Terrell Van from FightView 360.
This question is for Abel. Can you hear me? Okay, so since there's it's still not confirmed whether Canelo is fighting for that WBC title or not, can you explain the drug testing situation? Is there VADA drug testing? Also, will both fighters be taking part in the IBF day of weigh-in?
Yeah, I could answer that. Look, there is VADA testing. The VADA testing is not put in just only from an organization. There is VADA testing. Both are fighting, regardless if one's fighting for the belt or not. Both fighters have been tested and are still being tested. And as far as the IBF second day weigh-in, yes, they're fighting for the IBF title, and that's the rule of the IBF.
Okay, and final question. Can somebody, anybody touch on the undercard? Like, is the undercard finalized and set? Because so far we only see Diego De La Hoya, Antonio Orozco, Ryan Martin. Is there anything else to be expected?
Of course. I mean, when you have a great event, a great main event, obviously there's going to be some great appetizers before that. But that'll be coming out soon, very soon, promise.
Okay, thank you.
And our next question is from John Gatling from NewYorkFights.com.
Thank you very much. Abel, question for you. You faced Andre Roser, who trained Curtis Stevens when Golovkin faced him. And of course, I mean, he was the trainer for Daniel Jacobs. They had an all-star team: Virgil Hunter, Andre Ward, everybody else. Chris Algieri cooking for him. Yeah, you hold Canelo in higher regard than Daniel Jacobs, based on what you were saying earlier, because recently you were quoted as saying that Canelo was basically a slapper, that he wasn't really a hard puncher.
We should have asked how many times they got tested, though.
If Gennady does what he's supposed to do, what you expect him to do, that the fight's easy.
So good, though.
Have you reconsidered that based on some things that you've seen recently?
No, absolutely not. What I'm saying is that Canelo is the next one in line, and Canelo, when he gets in a hurry, tends to slap. If you go back to the quote that I did, that I said, when he gets in a hurry, he tends to slap. But Canelo is the most important fight and the most difficult fight in front of us right now. Why? Because he's in front of us right now. He's under 16. If we were fighting Jacobs, I would have been saying about Jacobs. So it's Canelo right now. Canelo is the most difficult to this point because he is next.
Do you think that based on the opponents that Gennady's faced up to this point in his career, that Canelo is a puncher with more variety, with more suddenness, with more commitment? He was obviously upset with the notion that he was ducking Golovkin, and the improvement that you've seen over. Is this the reason why you consider him the most prominent threat that Golovkin's ever faced?
I think Canelo is the best counter puncher they would have faced to date. He may not be the puncher that Curtis is with one shot, or Lemieux, let's just say, but he's a heck of a better boxer than both of those guys. And not only that, he's directly in front of us right now. So he's the most difficult guy. We don't get past him. It doesn't matter what we did against the rest.
question for Eddy Reynoso. Canelo was obviously upset with the notion that he wasn't ready for Golovkin last year. He seemed to scoff at the notion that he was somehow avoiding Golovkin and everything else. With that being said, the year that's passed and that's ensued, are you seeing a fighter that's more determined to come out here and prove definitively that he can beat Golovkin and is actually looking for a knockout?
Eddy, Canelo es obvio que estaba, pues, que le dio coraje, que se enojó cuando la noción de que tal vez le tenía miedo a Golovkin y rehuyó la pelea y no le quería pelear. ¿Tú crees que eso es un extra para motivarlo, para llegar y comprobar que no le tenía miedo, que no le rehuyó y hasta buscar un knockout para ganar claramente?
No, la verdad esto es un negocio. Las peleas grandes duran tiempo en hacerse. Esta es una pelea de las más grandes, de las más esperadas en los últimos años, entonces rehuirle a nadie. Si entramos al boxeo y él desde que tiene 13 años está subiéndose a un ring, él nunca ha demostrado miedo a nadie. Se pude a exponer la vida, la verdad, pues no le tenía.
And one of the best fights.
Entonces,
hello?
Las peleas.
And this is a fight that, look, it can't be made overnight.
Este es su tiempo y el ingrediente que tiene esta pelea para ganar y motivar a Canelo es como la tuvo desde que empezó el boxeo. Él siempre ha trabajado fuerte y para esta pelea no es...
We can talk about it all after the call is over.
And the ingredient that he has that motivates him is what he's had since day one. He's always wanted to be go down in history as one of the biggest and best fighters in history. So he will continue to work hard. He will continue to go on. And like I said, these fights aren't made overnight. It took a little bit of time, but we're here now.
And our next question is from Jules Philippe August from Heavy Bag Boxing.
Yes, hi. First and foremost, Eddy and Abel, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. Greatly appreciate it. Yes, hi. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
My deepest apologies. First
we're going to talk about it.
Thank both you guys for taking the time to speak with us today, Eddy and Abel. So greatly appreciated. This question, first and foremost, is going to go to Abel. One of the things that I noticed in the Canelo fight when he fought Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. was that he allowed himself to be pushed back and he took a lot of his shots. Do you think that is going to be an advantage for Triple G? Do you think that he'll be able to do a lot more damage on Canelo if he has Canelo on the ropes?
Well, let me just say this. Watching that fight, to me, wasn't indicative of what Canelo would be doing against Golovkin. Sometimes challenges to fighters at this level, there needs to be that mental challenge. And I think that Canelo's going to be well prepared and he's going to be ready to do everything he needs to do to not allow Golovkin to push him around. But then that's our job to make sure that does happen. So if that's the case, we can make sure to do a great fight.
Okay, perfect. And Eddy, this question is actually for you. In terms of Canelo in this fight, one of the things that we know about Mexico is has a very, very good, history of great fighters. Salvador Sanchez, recently, the great Marquez retired, Morales and Barrera. If Canelo is able to get a win over Canelo, where would you rank Canelo alongside those illustrious fighters? I'm sorry, Golovkin, excuse me.
Eddy, la pregunta es para ti. ¿Qué tan importante, dónde crees que quedaría Canelo de salir victorioso contra un peleador como Golovkin, entre los grandes de la historia, tal como Márquez, Barrera, Morales? ¿Cómo quedaría Canelo?
So, Eddy dropped off. We're having him call back in.
I mean, I'll wait till Eddy gets back for him to completely answer. But I think obviously, at a fighter of this nature, of Canelo beating the Golovkin,
it's automatic that obviously he'll go down as, and it's not over. He's still young. There's still a lot more fights for him, but it would definitely go on against in the record books as one of the biggest victories in boxing for Mexico.
Tecate, born
for Abel
bold.
right now that he's on, that we can go to.
We have no further questions.
Okay, then I can invite Abel. Abel, do you want to make some closing comments?
Yes. Thank you, Robert. Thank you to the media that posed all the questions. Thank you to everybody listening. We're looking forward again to a great fight on the 16th. I know that Eddie and Chip are going to have Canelo as ready as he can be. Hopefully, we get the kind of response that this fight deserves. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Abel. Thank you very much. Tom, any closing comments?
No, I just, you know, the expectations of this fight is tremendous. I know Abel wasn't as outspoken as far as the one question. You know, he thinks the winner of this fight is the best fighter in the sport. I truly believe when you have two warriors of this caliber, not only you know, of their fighting style and ring IQ and the fighting caliber, but their marketability that both guys bring to the ring. I think the winner clearly would be the best fighter in the sport of boxing, and not only the fighters, but also I think the trainer that wins this fight, the winning trainer, you know, would definitely be there for trainer of the year. So I think this promotion definitely has a lot riding on it, not only for the fighters and the trainers, but you know, just the event itself has taken on a life of its own. So we appreciate everyone for being on the call. Thanks, Robert.
And Eddie is online.
We're here. We don't hear anything.
Where I can hear you.
Okay, now yes.
Robert.
Eddie, ¿tiene comentarios para cerrar la llamada?
Sí, muchísimas gracias a todos los que apoyan esta gran pelea. Un placer hablar con ustedes y saludos también a Abel y saludos a todos los que estuvieron aquí presentes. Y nos vemos el 16.
Thank you very much for joining us in this conference call, and we will be seeing you guys on September 16th. Thank you very much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This concludes today's conference. Thank you for participating. You may now disconnect.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is, what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about the fight. We're going to talk about the details of the media call for those who are getting here later on today. No, not today. I put out, I think I put out, what, 12 videos today? You know, I started working at like 5, 6 this morning. It's close to 3 p.m. now. So, you know, pretty productive day. You know, I've put out close to 80 videos in 2 weeks. Some shit like that. You know, so we're trying to, we're staying consistent. We're not saying we're trying, we're staying consistent. You know, we're putting out 40+ videos a week. I'm mixing them up. You know, I'm mixing them up between, like, you know, interviews that I've done in the past, you know, content that's like relevant today, along with like preview prediction videos and shit like that, you know, to let everybody know that we back. You know, so to let everybody know that we back, we got to stay consistent and we got to keep putting out quality content and keep getting better. So for those who don't know, I'm announcing now. I'm not saying what day I'm going, but I am going to Canelo versus Golovkin. You know, I'm going to be out there. I'm not saying exactly when I'm going. I'm not going to Mayweather versus Pacquiao. I haven't even been denied for the fight yet. So, you know, I said Pacquiao, Mayweather versus McGregor. You know, the timing just wasn't right. And my pop having some issues with his thyroid, long story. You know, I just wouldn't have been able to make it, basically. You know, like, it would have been cramming, like, super cramming time, and it would have been a miserable trip. So, we're all set for Canelo versus Golovkin. we asked about the undercard. There, you know, right now the undercard is as right now. The official undercard is Diego De La Hoya versus Randy Caballero, Antonio Orozco versus Roberto Ortiz, and Ryan Martin versus somebody. They're saying that news is going to be announced about what else is going to be added to the undercard. I'm guessing the co-feature. You know, they've been talking about Lucas Matisse for quite some time now. I would say this: go check on Lucas Matisse's social media and see if he's in training camp somewhere. You know, because this we need something on his undercard, because right now the Mayweather McGregor undercard is better than this. Ain't that crazy? You know, there is VADA testing. I didn't ask. There was one more part of my question that I wanted to ask that I forgot. Is, you know, they said there is VADA testing. I wanted to know how many times the fighters have been tested, because right now Billy Joe Saunders and Willie Monroe is going through some shit, because Willie Monroe was like, yo, it's 5 weeks until the fight. They fight on the 23rd, the week after Canelo versus Golovkin. Or no, it's the same day of Canelo versus Golovkin. They haven't been tested yet. So I want to know when, I wanted to know when the drug testing started, and when, you know, and how many times they're going to be tested. So the next media call they're going to have, the Canelo media call was last week. This was the trainers, Abel Sanchez and Eddy Reynoso. Next week is likely going to be the Golovkin media call, you know, or the week after, you know. So we have to ask about, you know, like, well, how many times have you guys been tested? So there is VADA testing. Also, since they're fighting for the IBF title, there will be an IBF day of weigh-in. So which means that whatever Canelo weighs in at, he can't weigh in no more than 10 pounds that next following morning. You know, so because a lot of people thought that if Canelo didn't fight for the WBC, well, that means, you know, no VADA testing. You know, that would have added controversy to the fight. Also, with the IBF, if he didn't fight for the IBF, you know, then that would have been, you know, the day of weigh-in. You know, so both of these fights, like, it's not going to, people are wondering what the weight advantage is going to be. Right now, Golovkin is at 165 pounds, and the fight is 33 days away. You know, people are wondering, what is Canelo going to be once he gets into the ring? You know, Golovkin never usually comes into the ring at I've never seen him, as far as when they show the weight, no more than 172 pounds. And he's not that big in the ring. If you look at the way how huge Danny Jacobs was, he was huge. You know? Matisse versus Vargas. Which Vargas? You know? So, also, you know, you can't really ask about, you know, like the fights after, because they always say, you know, they don't want to look past this guy. But I interviewed Abel Sanchez at the Crawford versus DÍAZ press conference a few months ago, and he was talking as if, like, if Golovkin wins this fight, you know, he's going to have to fight Canelo in a rematch. But he's more, win or lose, he's more concerned about moving to 168, and they're not even worried about Billy Joe Saunders' WBO, you know, title anymore. And it's crazy, right? You know, so there's still a lot of questions involved in this fight. I'm just looking at it like, I understand that Mayweather McGregor is just a big, massive, global event, and you have Canelo versus Golovkin, which is 3 weeks away, not a whole month away. That is a big fight for hardcore fans. But you son of a bitches, you no good pieces of trash, you better buy the fight. Don't get me started. You better buy the fight, or you're scum. You're lower than scum. You know, you're lower than a serpent's belly. If you buy Canelo versus Golovkin, I mean, if you buy Mayweather versus McGregor, then, and you call yourself a boxing fan, you better buy fucking Canelo versus Golovkin. I swear, if I swear, I will cuss at you. But anyway, I'm also interested to know, like, how much these fighters are going to be paid. And ashamed to say, even if there was no Mayweather McGregor, I still don't think that Canelo versus Golovkin would do 1.5 million. I say anywhere between 1 million to like 1.4, 1.3. You know, the landscape of pay-per-views have changed. They're talking 4.9 million for Mayweather McGregor. I'm like, where's this shit coming from? And I understand that Mayweather McGregor is just overall just the biggest fight. It's a global fight, casual fights. Casuals don't give a fuck about Canelo versus Golovkin. And that's a fact. When you look at the HBO 24/7, like, it's coming on August the 26th. It's going to be on the same night. as Mayweather versus McGregor and as Cotto versus Kamaga. But when you look at like like, are you looking forward to seeing HBO 24/7 Canelo versus Golovkin? There's going to be 2 episodes, but it's like it's gonna be boring. You know, I already know, unless they do something innovative or some shit. You know, like, I mean, they gotta have some hype ass music, or they gotta get emotional with it. Because I don't see, I mean, looking at All Access and then, you know, covering every single episode of HBO 24/7. I have covered every single episode of HBO 24/7, even the Road to HBO 24/7s, you know, all the little HBO shows and docudramas they be having. You know, I covered all of them since what, 2010? And they all be the same shit. Now, we know Canelo's not a shit talker. We know Golovkin's not a shit talker. You know, but I don't know, man. I don't know. And think about it like this. Remember, Canelo versus Cotto was supposed to do 2-point-something million pay-per-view buys. Remember, they said Canelo versus Cotto was going to do more than Mayweather versus De La Hoya versus Mayweather. You know? I don't see Canelo versus Golovkin, and then Cotto versus Canelo only did 900K. Cotto versus Canelo only did 900K. And then remember, don't forget, they was talking that big money shit. There's like, man, this is going to be one of the biggest fights in the history. This shit is going to do 2.5. Yo, this Golovkin shit, this Golovkin Canelo shit ain't doing no major numbers like that. But however, it should, you piece of shit boxing fans. I'm sorry, man. I get a little emotional, man, this boxing stuff. Canelo versus GGG won't do more than 1.3, but that's good, though. If it does 1.3, that's good. But I don't think it's going to do no 1.5 and all that shit, man. They are both respectful to each other. Maybe that's the problem. That is, but we can't tell them to start cursing each other out. That shit going to look crazy. And that's just not who they are, you know. But in this day and age, boxers want to make money. You got to be marketable. Now, Canelo is marketable, but Canelo can be more marketable if his fucking ass starts speaking more English. He's got to start speaking more English. You see Golovkin speaking more English. Golovkin English used to be fucked up. You know, remember when he said to fucking Gabriel Rosado about finding his parents and all that shit? You don't got to be a trash talker to sell. No, you don't. No, you don't have to be a trash talker to sell. But you have to, like, you have to have something. I don't know, man. In this day and age, you kind of do have to be a trash talker, especially in the social media day and age. You kind of do. You know, there's some exceptions. For example, over in the UK, Anthony Joshua, but it's different over there because they prudes over in the UK. Sorry, UK, but y'all get offended over shit. If Tyson Fury was American, right? Talking all that shit he be talking, Tyson Fury would be a superstar over here in the United States. But over there, he's shunned. You know, he's looked at as being, you know, what y'all call him, a wank? You know, a daft cunt or some shit. You know? So it just, you know, it just is what it is, man. But, you know, we need this fight to do, you know, for boxing, we need this fight to do good numbers. Because you have too many people, you know, who talk all the politics and business of fights and boxing, but they don't support the sport. I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to keep saying it. I make no money off of this, man. I'm losing hundreds of dollars a month covering boxing. Don't get me wrong. I'm trying to fix that shit. I'm trying to fix it every day. You know, slowly I'm getting out of it, but I'm losing hundreds of dollars a month consistently. But that's what they say, man. When you start a business, you know, when you do, like, that's what they say. You gotta lose money. You know, you gotta lose money. I'm not from the UK. I'm still learning my UK terms, like whinging, and that means you crying and mange. That's like an old hairy pussy. You know, I'm learning. Even Ed Morales Barrera speak way better English 15 years ago. Yeah, Canelo's gotta get better with that English, man. Yeah, even Lomachenko's English is getting better. I was listening to that Camp Life shit. I'm like, yeah, that's Lomachenko talking. You know, there's a Canelo thing he's remembered, but Chavez Jr. was the same way at one point in time years ago. You know, around the time when he fought Sergio Martinez and after. He wasn't speaking English because people said he know English. He just wasn't comfortable speaking it. He got a funny ass like voice, you know, when he speak English. You know, so Canelo just gotta, you know, he gotta start going with it. It's time. It's time to start speaking English, you know. And I'm not talking little phrases. I'm talking about, like, you know, putting together some sentences, bro. Same thing with the fight on the Mayweather undercard, Tank Davis. You know, it's like, yo, bro, they saying you're gonna be the next pay-per-view star, but can't nobody hear shit you ever saying. Can't nobody understand you, bro. You know? Can't nobody understand you. So the fight is 33 days away, man. And one thing, starting this weekend with Canelo versus Crawford, Crawford versus Ngannou, we have nothing but mainstream boxing every single week all the way up until December. And guess what? All the fights for the fall and the winter haven't even been announced yet. To you tripping, relax on the fans. Fuck that. You ain't a fan if you ain't buying the fights. So I'm not tripping on the fans because the fans buy the fights. You're not a fan if you don't buy no fights. You're not a fan. And if you broke, I can understand, you know, you gotta go through to watch the fight. But it'd be some of you scumbags out there wearing your $250, you know, Jordans and your $350 phone posies, right? But then you're not buying the fights, talking about what fighters should be making. You make me sick. Talking about what fighters should be making and all that shit. You make me sick. I didn't really spit, but if this wasn't my house, I'd spit at you. I spit at your feet. You know, the fight sold out though, and you know what? I'm actually glad that call didn't get bombarded by fucking Mayweather McGregor questions. Don't get me wrong, as we talked about in the last media call for Canelo, it's like a lot of those questions be dumbass questions that really fans don't give a fuck about. But you got to understand, the top of the media hierarchy, when it comes to like the people who get like first say on media calls and exclusives and shit like that, they be casual fucking fans. They don't be boxing fans. It'd be a job that they got and say, oh, I watch a little of that boxing. I can, you know, nobody give a fuck about a lot of these questions people be asking. You know, they be asking, but you know, it's a part of the business. It's a part of the business, you know. So I'm going to be out there during fight week. Yeah, it's confirmed. You know, since I said, fuck it, I wasn't going to announce it until next week because, you know, next week people going to start harassing me saying, oh, you ain't get to Mayweather McGregor like you said you would. Well, we are confirmed for Canelo versus Golovkin. There has been announced. We're going to Vegas. We're not going for no month, but we're going for a nice substantial stay. You know, and we're going to take care of everything we got to take care of while we're out there. Buy the fights. Come back. Yeah, man, buy the fights. You know. Yeah, that poor brother never increased his boxing knowledge around all those. You know, if I lived on the West Coast, you know, I'll make a killing, but I'm scared, you know, like an earthquake and like a nuclear strike or some shit. You know, because if some shit go down, it'll probably happen in California first, right? You know, I don't want to live out there. And plus, it's like a pedophile's haven. I'm not taking my children out there. You know, if I lived on the West Coast, like if I lived in Vegas or if I lived in like LA, I'd be killing the game. How can I buy the fight from Kazakhstan? You better find a way, motherfucker. You better find. I'm not trying to hear it. You better find a way. In fact, no, you can buy it on the Ring TV website. You can buy Canelo versus Golovkin on the Ring TV website, on the Golden Boy website. You can buy it. You can buy it. You can buy it. You know, you can buy it. Yeah, I don't even consider him a media reporter. That's like something else. That's like boxing TMZ-ish type. You know, don't get me wrong. He's a legend. He's a legend. He's a legend. You know, but I don't even consider that shit. You know, he just come straight in Bogart. You know, like that's a nice watch you got on. Where did you get that watch? I don't give a fuck about his watch. Then again, people do. You know, then again, people do. But you know, enough about that. You know, so you know, our goal is, you know, like we have transitioned from just being some guy who lives in his mom's basement. Thank you, Mom. Hey, Mom, get some more cereal. You know, we've transitioned from being like some guy in his mom's basement to actually getting there and getting you, you know, the news from the sources. So, for example, here's a perfect example. That VADA question I asked on the media call and that question about the IBF weigh-in, watch it start popping up on all these different websites over the next 24 hours or so. TstreeT asked that question. Don't forget that. You know, so what we're trying to do is we're not chasing after views anymore. Don't get me wrong, we need the views so I can start making some money, but we're not chasing like whole shit, you know, like putting shit like wow, you know, before my titles and such rips such and such or epic, you know. We're not doing none of that whole shit, man. You know, we're trying to give you organic boxing news, humor, and a channel where, you know, we talk about the real shit without being biased. I don't give a fuck about these boxers. As far as, you know, like when it comes to like me, like, oh, well, you know, you cool with me, so I'm not going to talk shit about you if you do something wrong. No, listen, we telling that shit like it is. You know, you can be cool one day if you get knocked the fuck out the next day. It's like, oh, shit, you got knocked the fuck out, bro. You can't be mad at me. I'm telling the truth. You know, I'm telling the truth. You know, so we're really trying to do something different. And it's working because people been saying a long time, your subscribers been stuck for a long ass, you know, time. But no, it's not. We're actually numbers are up like all over the place for this current like last 40 days or so. You know, so we just gotta keep the consistency, and then once people see like, oh yeah, this guy's back, you know, and he not just doing videos this week, but not doing videos the next week, you know, so we gotta keep that shit. You know, because like I said, man, I'm tired of fucking not making no money doing this shit, man. You know, like, you know, I want to start being able to be like, you know, like, all right, we all going to fights everywhere. That's a lot of us now. We got a large growing team now. And I'm talking about there's people that you haven't even seen yet. You know, we got people everywhere, you know, so I got to manage all this stuff. Yeah, I don't know what's up with Shane Mosley shit. You know, I don't know what's up with Shane Mosley. They said he turned into Brother Malzone from The Wire. You know, so he's gonna be like Hearns. Yeah, and Mosley been having some money issues for a while. His ex-wife bad. Jen Mosley the shit, man. Need to update the fight schedule on the website. No, I'm doing something with the website. The website is under reconstruction right now. I just had a long conversation with some website analysts and developers, you know, so the website is going to be fully 100% active definitely this fall. We're trying to have it done before I go to before Mayweather versus McGregor, but definitely before I go to Canelo versus Golovkin. So I have somebody actually going into the website and is actually going to be working in the website fixing shit. You know, so, you know, trust me, the website, listen, I pay for that website every month. You know, that website costs a lot of money. You think I'm not, you know, yo, listen, I need that to make money. You know, I spent thousands of dollars on that website. You know, so the potential is that website is very, very powerful. We're not using nowhere near, that website is powerful as fuck. You know, we got some powerful ass features. You know, so, you know, I got to start, you know, getting that thing moving. But you know what, guys? Hey, listen. I think this is my 11th or 12th video today. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to get up, you know, start popping out some more videos, and we're trying to put out 5 to 10 videos a day. And we've been doing it so far, and it's becoming really, really like easier now. And then I'm back in the mix of things. So you know what? Thank you guys, man, for like, you know, ride with me. So many people are saying I fell off and all that shit. You don't understand like how hard it's been to like get to this point of like, the hardest part was getting the access to the events, getting the press releases, you know, talking to the PR people, you know, giving them our, you know, our spiel, you know, like getting that respect to get into the events. That was the hardest part. You know, I wasn't concerned about doing videos, you know. I had to get that foundation built first. So now that we got the access to all the shit, man, you know. Now, you know, I just been like organizing and branding, you know, stuff. So people been telling me I've been moving fast, but I think, you know, I feel I'm not moving fast enough. You know, so also this weekend, we have that Terrence Crawford versus Julius Ndongo card. That card is going to start on the ESPN app first. You'll be able to see all the fights, from the Mike Alvarado fight, from the Dylan White fight, to the Brian Jennings fight, to the Shakira Stevens fight. And then on the ESPN card, you know, the live card, and I'm sure, I believe there's nothing that's going to run over late so we don't run into a Lomachenko-Mariaga situation. You know, I believe that it's going to be the Grosdick card, the Grosdick fight, the Alexander Grosdick fight, and the Terrence Crawford fight. You know, like I said, man, hey, listen, You know, I'm Teacher Controversy. This is Teacher Controversy Live. I got to go. We have reached the end of our video. You know, are you still trying to start your own boxing promotional company? Yes, that shit is not happening no time soon. You know, we got to master this media shit first, you know, and then move to that level. You see what I'm saying? So I already reached out to people and everything, but, you know, I got to go. I'm Teacher Controversy. This is Teacher Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. And we're going to talk more about Crawford versus Ndungu tomorrow because that fight does need like a lot more promotion. People not talking about it. Please subscribe.